I thought I'd, expand a little on my thoughts on the idea that there are no new ideas. I mentioned calculus as a new idea that Leibniz and Sir Isaac Newton came up with at the same time. Very original idea that they came up with at the same time because they were working on the same problems. Those were the problems of the age. And that's true, but Archimedes, who lived like somewhere around 200 BC, wrote a book that only in the 20th century did we actually manage to read, called On Method. And this is a book that anticipated calculus. We only got to read it by new technology that was able to deal with palimpsests. A palimpsest is something that has been overwritten. We didn't have any copies of Archimedes' book On Method, but we did know that it existed because it had been written about someone. We knew that there was this mysterious book that Archimedes had written that was important to how he came up with his results. He's always considered one of the greatest mathematicians of all time. So he used this method to come up with his results, but then in his proofs, in his public proofs, he omitted all of that stuff because it assumed the existence of infinitesimals. And that was considered bad mathematics at the time. It was an area that had shown time and time again to yield paradoxes. So he scrubbed his proofs, finally, of all mention of this method that he used. And so how did we come across this book? Well, we came up with technology to read papyri that had been overwritten. And that is how we came across Archimedes' book On Method. Anyway, just to say that calculus, although it is very original, although it's brilliant work, it was anticipated by Archimedes way back when. So can you say that calculus is a new idea? Well, yes and no. But even I don't think we have to go to the lengths of the most brilliant work ever devised, like calculus or Gödel's work, or these great paragons of mathematics, to come up with new ideas. I think new ideas, that's in some sense, happen every day. I mean, even when you write a new joke, to some extent that's new. And what was it the other day? I wrote one, and it was like, it's like changing gears so much to even remember what it was. I can never remember jokes, but I actually wrote one, which in itself was unbelievably rare. But now I can't remember it. It was like, oh yeah, Stephen Miller was asked by Trump to write the speech on Juneteenth day, when Trump's going to have his rally in Tulsa, which is just so offensive. And said asking Stephen Miller to write a speech on race relations is like asking Hannibal Lecter for a speech on liver and onions. And, you know, there's the joke that about jokes that this group of guys, they've been hanging around for 20 years, 30 years, and they'd sit around and tell jokes together, but they always told the same joke, so they got it down to numbers. Or somebody would say, number 35, ha ha ha. Number 22, ha ha ha. But maybe jokes, maybe writing jokes, writing new jokes is it at that level? Doesn't feel like it, but maybe it is. Is writing poetry at that level of newness? No, I don't think so. It feels newer. I've heard it said that a good poem is more like the basis of a new poetics than something that illustrates the poetics of this or the poetics of that, you know. Yeah, that's my feeling, that new ideas do actually happen a lot more frequently than, you know, coming up with something as earth-shaking as calculus. And this is Aleph Null chewing on the idea that there are no new ideas, because Gareth Hopkins has this project whereby you take a page of his abstract novel and you do something with it and send it back to him. And what we're looking at is about 21 pages of that project where people have done something with his page and sent it back to him. And I've taken all 21 pages and fed them to Aleph Null. So Aleph Null is chewing on the idea that there are no new ideas.